Okay, I think we're live. Um, so I thought it would be kind of fun to try to learn how to use Lightroom on the computer for the first time. Normally I use the iPad version, but we found that the colors are a little bit off. So because of that, I am learning how to use Lightroom on the computer, and I thought it'd be uh, kind of fun to figure it out on here too. If you're watching this after the fact, this is a live stream. I got a couple comments on the last video where they thought that it was an actual video. It's not a real video. It's not an actual edited video. It's just a live stream, and it just stays on this channel for anybody that's interested after the fact. So all that being said, we're There's Max. He knows that I'm busy, and he actively takes the opportunity to just scream and howl. I don't know if you could hear that, but that was our cat yowling. With all that, let's edit some videos. I'm thinking that there's going to be a lot of crossover between the two Lightrooms, but we shall see. Okay, I need to look at... What's their last names? Thank you. Okay, let's see. Also, I hope you can hear me. Savannah's editing a video, and I am editing photos. So Savannah's using our big fancy desk where we have the interface and everything else, but I still wanted to use this microphone. So I got this little thing from Amazon. It's a cable that basically it goes from like XLR to a USB-C, and I'm hoping that the gain is loud enough for the stream and everything else. That's what I'm trying to check right now, if you're wondering. All right, check. Let's see what this sounds like. I'm checking the stream right now in real time. All right, check. Let's see what this sounds like. Oh, that sounds good. Huh? Who would have known? Okay. Now gotta actually edit some photos here. All right. Normally, what Savannah does, and she sends sneak peeks out, like pretty much the next day, she'll star a couple of them, and I'll pick up from there. So like I'm not starting straight from our preset that we have, and that is what I'm trying to do right now. So, okay, that's zooming in and out. Okay. Okay, so there's the editing panel. See, it clearly thinks that I am a first-time user because, well, I guess I am a first-time user technically. Okay, let's see. Savannah's off. If I ask somebody a random question, then it's going to be because I'm asking Savannah a question because I'm trying to figure this out in real time. Is it Command C or Command Shift C?
Command C, and if you want to do the mask, Command Shift C, and then make sure it's just the mask, not like if I put a brush on it.
Okay. So Command C is to copy and paste properties, I think is what Adobe Lightroom calls it. And then if I want to copy the mask, which I do for a lot of these, it's Command Shift C. So let's see if that actually worked. Can you take care of him, please? Okay, so if you scroll up and down, that's how you cycle through, but how do you get back to the grid? Oh, there's the grid. So can I do this? I'm holding Shift down right now. Can I just do Command V? No. How do you paste to multiple at the same time?
Select a bunch of them.
Uh-huh.
And
I did that.
Command Shift me then. Sometimes I don't remember.
No, that didn't work either.
Go to grid.
I'm at the grid.
Select 10. Command B.
So like 10?
I'm just selecting them. So select.
I did.
Look. Command B.
Yeah, it's not doing that.
Do you have anything to do with selection?
Probably not. Command C. Oh, okay, so the little thing popped up at the...
And then
I got it. Masking. Not, what'd you say not to have? Not the brushes. So I'm trying to copy the settings so that I can paste them and then edit from there. What's brushes underneath? Oh, masking. I got it. I don't have it. Copy, and then let's try this. Command V. Okay, oh, that's clearly not the right one for that, but at least it's pasting. All right. Oh gosh, those are bad. Okay, so now obviously that mask wasn't right for that, but at least I know how to do it. So it's really kind of similar to what the one for the Lightroom for iPad. It's just I think the biggest thing is going to be incorporating a keyboard and a trackpad instead of just using a pencil, which is what I use and which is why I like using that. But also, if there's going to be like a color difference, then obviously that's not going to be ideal. Can I? Okay, and you can use arrow keys to there we go. You can use arrow keys to cycle through different pictures. It's kind of pink. Oh God. It's grainy too. How do you degrain? Denoise, whatever. That's adding grain.
Detail? Open up all your sliders on that. Yep, denoise. That little button at the start.
Oh, I opened that up.
It's gonna be the whole thing, so.
So if you see that, if you can see that, that's what I want to get rid of because that's nasty.
Okay. Hit enhance.
Enhance. Oh, enhance. Okay. It's denoising. Oh, and there's a progress bar up there, I'm assuming. Did it do it? Oh, wow. That doesn't look as bad. It's not perfect, but that's not as bad. Do I have to do that for every single one? There's no way to... Oh, that's... Okay. Oh, the trackpad thing's kind of weird, but that's okay. Oh, it's a little overexposed. Savannah and I do shoot in RAW. If you know what that is, you can do it with video too. It just requires a lot more. The camera shooting RAW has to be. It's gonna be way more expensive, but you can do it in RAW. But the benefit of doing this versus like doing like a log kind of thing for video is you just get a lot more flexibility. Like this, these pictures, like you can pretty much screw up you can really screw up the exposure in every other setting and you can still save it a lot of times. Oh, okay. That's really okay. I just pasted the wrong one again. That's okay. This is like one of those things where you just have to do it and you'll get faster over time. Right now it just feels like I'm going so slow because I'm used to editing a specific way. Like when I do stuff with Premiere, it's like second nature. And right now it kind of feels like I'm learning how to walk again. Not a bad thing, but is something to. It's something I knew I was gonna have to do with, but I didn't really anticipate having to deal with it right now. But that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna go all the way to here. Command V. And then, yep. Okay. Wow, this microphone sounds the gain sounds really good. I wasn't expecting that because for this microphone, typically you have to have you have to have a cloud lifter, which is what this thing is, because it's a pretty quiet microphone. But with this little thing, I guess that maybe it just has an automatic gain booster or whatever in it. Yeah. Anyway, oh wow, these pictures don't look great. Oh god, that's terrible. Okay, well, I guess this is a good way of learning how to edit with this. The trackpad thing is, I've said that before, but that's going to be something to get used to. Okay. And I know I could just copy the, like from the photos that I've like re-edited from this mask that I'm currently using, but I don't want to because I want to get your reps in, I guess is about the best way to put it, to get quicker and to get more used to it, because that's the biggest thing. It's just the learning curve. That's a little cool. Okay. And obviously over time I want to like do more, get more involved with editing like pictures in Lightroom, like in here in like this like version of Lightroom. But this is purely, I literally, like I said, I literally just I downloaded it and downloaded the photos, and then I set up the live stream. So this is literally me figuring it out. These are the first couple of photos that I'm editing in this version of Lightroom. On a completely separate side note that has nothing to do with this live stream, I'm really excited about this microphone setup to where I don't have to have like a interface or a cloud lifter for stuff like this. That's really cool. I was not expecting it to be like that. I was expecting it to be kind of require more gear, but it doesn't. How do you do a before and after type of thing? What button is that? Oh, so that's the original, and that's the edited. Original, edited. Okay. And then where are the masks at? See, I told you. Literally first time opening this. Okay. And then create new mask. Okay, that's gotcha. Okay. Okay. Oh, Lord. I feel like I'm starting to get my feet. I'm starting to understand this. Command Shift C. Masking. Copy. Okay, and then Command V. Okay, okay. It's a little dark. There we go. This one's a little crooked, and I have to get that light switch out of there, so this one's going to be a little bit more involved. Okay. And then this guy, let's see. I need to adjust it. Okay. It's a little cool. Okay, now. I do like that the screen is bigger than the iPad because a lot of times it can feel kind of like you're squinting a little bit too much. This is kind of dark. So I do like that. Let's try getting that guy out of here. Oh, that's big. Nope. I'm gonna have to come back to that one because okay. Gonna have to denoise this one. Probably, maybe. And I think that's okay. I'll try it just for the sake of reps. Oh, it's under details, denoise. Enhance. That is a feature. There are some features that haven't crossed over yet between. I think it's technically Lightroom. I don't think it's Lightroom for iPad. I think it's Lightroom mobile. From that one and the desktop one, and denoise is definitely one of them. I haven't really dove into. I have never used denoise in this way, and it does pretty. It's pretty good. A lot of times, I'm like I edit videos. I feel like I'm a lot stronger of an editor with editing video versus photo. Um, just because I do video more. But because of that, I I I just lost my train of thought. Because of that, because of I don't do it all the time. Then every time I do it, it feels yeah, it's a learning curve. Okay, it's still a little bright. I do need to figure out how to use the the erase and the brush though, because that is something that I would probably say that's probably one of my weakest things, and it's just because I haven't had to do it a ton or at all, honestly. Okay. Also, I've found, or I've started to. I learned this when I started editing videos for like that were like past like YouTube, and it was like for like actual like weddings or whatever. There's a fine line between good enough and um like getting it to where it's passable and good enough instead of like over analyzing, because I am a classic overthinker and I definitely overanalyze things. Um, but when you have like thousands of images that you have to edit, you can't really do that. Command Shift C. I have to keep looking down, like past this microphone, to make sure I'm hitting Command Shift C because I keep hitting. I always hit the caps lock instead when I'm on my laptop instead of like an actual keyboard. Okay, that looks good. I like that. That's moody. It's probably my favorite when we pose like bridal stuff. This is probably my favorite pose to do because you have like the highlights on one side, and then you have like just it's just there's a big contrast, and it's a really dramatic photo. Have I had breakfast yet? Yes, I It's currently 11:38 where I'm at. So I exercised, went for a run, had breakfast. Actually played video games too. And now I'm actually sitting down to get the work portion of our day done. That's kind of bright. I'm gonna adjust the mask. I haven't done that yet, so let's see. How do you do this? Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, it's gonna be blue. Nope, orange. Yeah, definitely. I did absolutely nothing yesterday, and because of that, I had to do. I had to make up for not doing anything yesterday. And Savannah and I are also leaving for Paris in a month, and it's just gonna be like a proper. It's gonna be like a vacation. Like I'll make a video and everything. Mostly just because I'm really excited because we're going to see Normandy and a bunch of other D-Day or like World War II stuff. So I'm excited to make that video, but we're not going to be doing like this kind of work, like where we're editing photos of other people. So we're trying to get caught up from this past year because we're still technically behind, but also we're trying to and all that being said, we're trying to get ahead a little bit. Okay. Oh, there's a black and white. Um, I don't know. I don't think we're going to. We're going to rent a car to go. I think Savannah's more of the travel planner. I just kind of she just plans something and asks, and I just say okay. Um, So all that being said, I'm not completely sure what we're doing with rental car stuff. I know when we're in Paris, we're trying to walk or take public transportation. But as far as getting from Paris to like Normandy, I know I think it's like a 2 hour train ride, so we might take the train. But I am not sure because my parents are actually going to Paris for my dad got a job that's based in Paris and they need him there for a month. So they're going to be there for a little bit, and I know they're renting a car, so we may just bum off of them. But yeah, I'm not really sure. When we travel, we try to leave a lot of it open ended because uh, yeah. All that being said, I have no idea. Let's see. My least favorite thing to shoot in or like edit after the fact are really orange like green rooms or really 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 warm like getting ready areas. I hate what it does to like people's skin tones and everything else. It's not pretty. I just asked because oh wow, yeah, that's something that so maybe we won't rent a car because that's not cheap. That's kind of like where how it is in downtown Nashville where we live. The prices to park change a lot, but there are some times where it's like $50 just to park your car for a couple hours. And granted, that's typically when there's like events going on and stuff, but still, like that's so much money. But fortunately, we're walking distance from all that stuff, so we never really have to do that. Um, yeah, that's crazy though. That's something you don't think about. Thank you for mentioning that because yeah, I I don't want to spend that. Yeah, sounds like a good business. It is a good business. uh, I see like there's like a couple of parking like companies or businesses around here that just buy like vacant lots from like buildings that were torn down. They don't like do anything really to renovate them. They just kind of just slap lines in there and put up like a parking meter, and that's pretty much it. And like that's such a like lucrative business for not a lot of overhead. It's a little crooked. When I started editing photos, it was so hard for me to tell if a photo was crooked or not. Um, like a lot of times Savannah would like go back through and basically say that it's all like that. And actually, when I shoot videos, when I use our Sony, I use the and I'm handheld. I use the uh little gyroscope, I think is what it's called, to prevent me from like because before that all my shots were slightly like that, and when you have to edit every single clip to or straighten every clip, it gets yeah. I've got a lot better, but that's something still I have to really focus on to make sure things are straight. Now that I'm starting to get the hang of Lightroom for desktop, I think I like it more. Um, which I had a feeling I was going to, but I just had never like tried it out. I will say I do like the using the pencil because that makes it feel really tactile and it gives you like a different um level of like editing the image, if that makes sense. If you ever edited with an Apple Pencil, then you'll know what I'm talking about, or anything that is like that kind of interface. There's something about it that you can't do with like a touchpad, but not complaining. Just that is something that I am noticing. The biggest thing is going to be this, like going from a like an iPad to like a cursor and like your thumb and finger and stuff like that. I'll have to edit this mask because it's a little bright. Have I tried? Have I tried using the new Apple Pencil that rotates the pencil tip on the screen? I have not. I didn't know that they came out with a new pencil. Does it work for? Is it just for like the iPad, or can you use it for other Apple devices too? Because that would be something I would be really interested in. Because I love that whole interface. That was crooked. I just almost I almost did it again. Almost skipped right through and left it crooked. I think it's just for the iPad right now. I'll have to try it out. That's like one of the things with Apple. Like that's one of the few things with Apple that's not super expensive. So I'm okay buying it on a whim. It's like $100 or something like that. So I'll have to try it out because we do use Procreate, and I really do like Procreate. Uh, yeah. Thank you for the suggestion. I'll have to give it a shot. It would be sick if they could figure out a way to use it with like your Mac too. That would be, to me, that would be the ultimate thing. Like if you have like kind of like a Surface Pro type of thing, but for Apple, because then it would like take everything and just it would be like the best of every world. Let's see. That's still a little pink. Yeah, me too. I wish because everything else seems to flow really smoothly with Apple devices. I wish the pencil and the laptop would work, even if they had like a USB-C like plug-in thing. Kind of like I know like there are some companies that already do that. I think that would be really cool. Again, because it would just make editing photos it would change how it feels and how it is to do it and all that stuff. Hello, Max. Max is mad at me because just before this he was just being really loud, and he came in here to shame me. Hello. He is such a personality. Hi. He's mad at me. He yeah, one thing that I really do like about Max is he definitely has his own unique personality. A fun fact about this venue, the first time that we shot here, it was in the middle of Tennessee summer, like in July, and they didn't have any air conditioning, so it was just all open, and it was really humid and really hot, and it was rough to say the least. But since then, they've added like doors and windows and added like air conditioning, which I was more than happy to, just because like if you've shot a wedding, there's a lot of it that is outside, and you don't, at least the way we shoot it, where there's not a lot of downtime. Like the only downtime we really have is when we eat, and it's mostly just to make sure that we're like working efficiently and everything. But you do tend to get really sweaty and really hot when you're constantly holding cameras and telling people what to do and just the whole thing. And not having a place to escape the heat I remembered, it was a couple of years ago, and I still remember it very vividly. Yeah, they really do. These pastries look so. They were really good too. Like so, this was it was a Ukrainian wedding, And I didn't know this, but a lot of these pastries were actually handmade by like friends and family, which is really cool. Kind of added to like the it just adds to the texture, the coolness, and like the culture stuff. I don't know. I think that's really cool. Um, when we travel, that's kind of the biggest thing that I look forward to is like experiencing different cultures. And when you get to work and experience new cultures, that's like it's a win-win. Yes, I actually have had gear freeze up during events. So the most recent one was actually when our Sony, it wasn't the Sony's fault. It was the SD cards that we use. They started to become corrupt, and if you've never had a SD card become corrupt, basically, it just won't write, or it'll fail to write to the camera. And it doesn't matter, or it'll fail to write to the SD card. And it doesn't matter if you have dual SD cards, which we do, and do a record, it just won't write to either one of them, and it'll cause the camera to just freeze and shut down. And I actually had to take the battery out. Thankfully, it was just for some B-roll stuff. But the biggest thing that I try to do when stuff freezes up or just doesn't work is just one, to have backups, but if you don't have that, just to keep like a cool head and try to just get it up and running as fast as you can. I guess I think that's the only thing you really can do. Um, which is probably like that's that's why we have since the first time it froze up, we have multiple SD cards now just in case. And we actually have the Sony Tough cards. They're really really expensive, but we do have one of those just in case. It's only an 80 gig, so we can only really do like a ceremony on it, but it's better than nothing, and I know that one's going to be super solid. So because we do use like cheaper pro grade cards, but when they're like $400 or $500 a piece, it just gets Anyway, that's the most recent one of camera failures. Fortunately, it's not very often that does happen, and I think that's another thing of like just taking care of your gear and buying good quality like professional gear if you're doing this like as a job or full time. It's expensive up front, but the like the consistency and the stableness that you get, I think, is well worth it. Let's see, how do I? Nope, that's not it. That's not it. No. How do I? Oh, rotate. There we go. That's not my favorite. It's kind of crooked too. All right, this is like a tough one because I have both subjects are really, really spaced out. I'll probably just go with this one because at least the whole subject is in frame. That looks okay, I guess. Whenever I'm editing photos, I try to also this is shooting too, but I try to have the composure or the composition be where it tells like a story, basically, or it gives your like eyes like a clear line, like where they're supposed to go. And photos like this is a good example of like I don't really know where it's gonna go, but also like with shooting like family events and like weddings and stuff like this, you also have to just capture the content, and it kind of goes with practical shooting and like realistic shooting for stuff like this, where like the family just wants it captured and wants pictures to remember, versus like being super super artsy, because a lot of times you don't have time to be super artsy. Did that make sense? I don't know if that made sense or not. It's a different style. It's a different type of like shooting mindset, like making sure you capture those memories for those people, because that's like, I guess it's like a perspective thing, and like looking like with like a big like zooming way out, like you're there to capture moments and stuff. Oh, did I lose the webcam? Nope, we're back. Sometimes it does that. Oh, is the webcam back? Maybe. I'm using my Pocket 3 for my webcam, and sometimes there we go. Okay, I think it's back. There we go. Okay, camera's back. Yeah, sometimes the Pocket 3 just randomly does that. I don't know why. Trying to figure it out because it's really convenient and it has like face tracking and stuff, but it randomly just disconnects and then restarts. And it's not the cable because it's a like an Apple Pro cable or whatever. Interesting. Anyway, all that being said, is that called leading lines? Yeah, it is. It's leading lines. Basically, it guides your eye to like looking at a subject. But when there's like flat lays and stuff like this, where there's just a lot of subject matter, I guess it's just, I don't know. I would classify this as like just having it captured and making sure that you get it for the family. And then like there's time for being like artsy and stuff like that, but there's also like times where you just have to get the photos. Yeah, we typically try to do the artsy stuff for like when we do like couples photos after so typically with our weddings it goes like getting ready and stuff, and then ceremony, and then after ceremony they'll do like cocktail hour, and that's where like we'll get like family photos, and after that we'll do couples photos where like typically that's where like the sunset will be and the lighting will be best during that time, and that's where we try to get like kind of artsy and like getting like more like cool photos versus like just getting like capturing the stuff at the wedding, so that the family, when they're looking through the photos like 20 years down the road, they'll be able to like look at like the pastries and stuff like that, if that makes sense. To me, it's like there's two different mindsets with doing it like that. Okay. That's a cool photo. That's really cool. It's like super, that's super dramatic. So that's before, after. That's, wow. Cool. I will say editing photos gives you like that instant gratification versus like a video. It's like hours and days of having to like just put it together, and you don't really get like that, oh, that's amazing, satisfaction until the wedding video or whatever video, it doesn't have to be a wedding video, it could be a YouTube video or anything, is done. And with photos, it's just a lot more, it's a lot faster. Hmm? That these settings are not made for this. I've been getting back. Yeah, it is. That's like where I try to have as many of like the laboring like stuff. I try to like have like templates built out for video editing. So like example would be, I know like typically what, like I'm gonna like convert. I'm gonna have a conversion LUT. I'm gonna have like a look LUT. I'm gonna have like specific compressors to like process audio. I know all that stuff is going to be needed in like my project file. So I've made templates for that so that I don't have to like drag and drop and search for things and find things. Um, that way, like I just have to worry about editing, because it is a very, it can be a really long and drawn out thing. Trying to remove like friction and stuff as much as you can is, in my opinion, the way to go. And it really makes an impact on, one, wanting to edit, and then two, how fast you edit. And hotkeys. Hotkeys really help if you use Premiere, because then you can do. It's just, yeah. That had a huge impact on my editing workflow. Oh, what is this? Later. I don't need that. Keeps trying to get me to try new things. Oh, nope, that's not it. There we go. I love LumaFusion. I've edited a couple of videos on LumaFusion, and it's really, I really really, it's amazing that it works so well. And I tried using Final Cut Pro, but mostly because we pay like the Premiere or the Adobe like package, and it's like hundreds of dollars a month. But I never like really fully committed to Final Cut Pro, even though like it's a great program and it really works really really well. I haven't like had the time to, enough downtime to actually like learn it. That's just an excuse if I'm being completely honest. I need to learn it because it is like a one-time fee, and it does the same exact thing as Premiere and gets you the same results, instead of having to, yeah. All that being said, those are two really good video editing softwares. I want to try DaVinci, but the problem with DaVinci is we shoot in 10-bit, and the free version of DaVinci is 8-bit. So if I wanted to try it out, then I would have to pay for DaVinci to use it for like what I would actually be using it for. But yeah, anyway, all being said, I don't think you can go. I don't think you can go wrong with any video editing software. Somebody said you need cough syrup.
Yeah.
She has allergies. It's a little blown out still. When I first started editing photos, I would always just mess with like the shadows and the highlights. I would never touch the exposure. And I remember the day that I decided to try like exposing things differently or like properly, and that made such a big difference. I felt like I wasn't having to fight the image nearly as much, but I probably edited using like shadows and highlights for a year, like at least a year, before I actually touched the exposure. I don't know why, but yeah, it makes a big difference. That's green. That's better. Started looking sickly. This camera looks really good. It's an older camera. I think it's an R6 Mark 1 with a 28 to 70, like the big Canon lens that's f2 all the way through, but it's so good. It looks so good. I was trying to figure out if we should buy a new R6 or not, because one of them, the hot shoe, is like loose to the point where we can't put a flash on it because it just moves around and doesn't seat properly. And then the other one, it needs to be sent out to get cleaned and everything else, because it's getting a little weird. It has a couple of quirks to it. Oh, what would be a good recommendation? Oh man, that's a big question. My first thing would be, what is your price range? And then two, what would you be doing with it? Like, would you be like making YouTube videos with it, or would you be making like working for clients and stuff like that? Because those two questions will really influence what ones I recommend. There's a lot. Oh, look at that. Watch, ready? So that, oh, come on. Why aren't you working? That's before, and that's after. Before, after. That's cool. That looks really good. Wow, look at that. That's crazy. Nope, that's kind of orange. Okay, okay. Yeah, iPhone is great for YouTube. I do that all the time. There's a lot. There's actually wedding photo videos that we have that are a couple of the pickup shots are just with my iPhone because I didn't have a free hand, or I was shooting with a current camera and I needed to get something else. Anyway, they take great photos. For that, I would recommend Sony is probably, in my opinion, one of the best for video, mostly just because of their dual native ISO. Most of their cameras have dual native ISO. So like the Sony A7S III has like the first ISO, like base ISO, is at 640, and then the second is at 12,800, which makes it really, really good for pretty much everything, because you can shoot really bright scenes or you can shoot really dark scenes without necessarily having to have a light. A lot of the Sony ZV series is really good. It's a little more affordable than like an A7S III, but in my opinion, if you can afford to get like an FX3 or an A7S III, I would highly, highly recommend that. Just because like it's kind of like a buy once, cry once type of thing. Like that camera will get you through a lot of pretty much anything that you need to do, as long as you're like not needing to go to 8K, if that makes sense. And the log on Sony, like it's like S-Log3 is what I shoot in. Amazing. There have been scenes where I've completely screwed the exposure up and it's like all blown out, and I've been able to save and recover it because of the S-Log3. It's a very flat profile. So yeah, anything Sony. If you can afford an A7S III or an FX3, absolutely do that. But there are ZV cameras that Sony makes that has the same internals as a A7S III, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh, selling a Leica. I mean, I don't know. Cause Leica, they're great too. But if you're not using it, then I would say probably. The way I look at it from more of like a business, uh, like mindset of like if I'm not if it's not making any money and I need something else to help me make money, then I'll get rid of that like asset or camera and buy the thing that I actually need to make money. Because I mean, even if even if you buy like an A7S III and it's like what $4,000 after taxes and everything else, um, if you use it and it makes you like 100 grand in a year, that's kind of like, when you put it that way, in my mind, it's like, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, I man, I like a film camera though. That's really nice. But I would say, yeah, if you absolutely need to, then probably sell that guy if you're not using it and go to something like the Sony world, because they're just really, Sony's are really stable cameras, from my experience, and we're not easy on our cameras. Like they've been from like super super hot conditions to super super cold conditions, and to everything, and they've just been flawless. The only thing that ever has given us issues with the Sony is the SD cards. Oh yeah, developing film is. We've actually been looking at possibly, because we shoot film for trips, and it's also an add-on for our photography packages. And we've been looking or trying to figure out how to develop our own film, because I know there's a way to do it to where you can take a picture from like a DSLR and then like reverse the negative. And I think I could probably figure it out, but I haven't. So it goes back to time. I haven't had the time to look into it. But yeah, film is developing it takes forever. We fortunately have a place in Nashville that's pretty quick, and they give us the like a folder of downloadable things, and they give us print offs as well, and we get to keep the negatives. So I totally get that aspect of film. Did I? Okay, that's like a subtle edit. That's another thing I've found with like when people are new to editing, myself included. I typically would over edit, and then as I've like done it more, I'm noticing I'm making less changes, but like 20 small changes makes a big difference in the grand scheme of like a photo. I still can't believe that this whole little live stream thing works with them literally using a single cable going into my computer. Like that's like it's the small things that I really get pumped up about, and that was one of them. That I was like, I when I was plugging it in, I'm like, this probably isn't going to work, but we'll just see, and it actually worked. And yeah, very 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 excited about that. It's bright. Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to start streaming more, because one, I have to do this work anyway, and I've been really into like just having like people live streaming just on in the background as I work, because like you said, like it feels like you're hanging out, and it's it's a very relatable thing. Because for me, like my whole approach to making videos and stuff is I want them to feel relatable, and I want them to feel not just overly produced. Like I think like the overly produced like Mr. Beast stuff is really really cool, and it has its place. But that's one kind of like people group on YouTube, YouTube specifically, and I found that I really gravitate towards the opposite of that, which is more chill, more laid back, and more like just everyday like realistic type of stuff, which is what my personality typically is anyway. So all that being said, that's kind of why I wanted to stream a little bit more, just to kind of like have even less editing between like the creator and then the audience. I think that's a really cool thing with streaming specifically. Is it basically like there's no editing whatsoever. Like what I say can't be cut out, can't be like chopped up, and it's just completely like immediately distributed to um, like people, which is really cool. I think personally. I think in the next couple of years there's going to be a big shift from content creation to where it's just, and it kind of already is now, but it really emphasizing and focusing on relatability and just being just being like just hanging out, if that makes sense. I will say from a like a creator's standpoint, it is kind of intimidating because if I say something or mess up a pronunciation or something else, I can't edit it out, which is fine. I think it humanizes the content, but there is that, if I'm being completely honest, in the back of your head as you're doing it and getting ready to do it, especially if you're trying to figure this out. Like right now, my brain's kind of going two different ways trying to figure out this, but I think it's really fun. That's a cool picture. Again, like the just the drama of the whole thing. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I could get feedback from this. I'm thinking about streaming like once a week. Um, just cause like I've kind of limited back. Like I'm doing like multiple day videos now. So I'm thinking um of doing like the streaming once a week. But what would you suggest? Would you want more than once a week? Is once a week too much, or just kind of like in no schedule whatsoever for it? I haven't. Is that local to Nashville? I probably should know that. Um, yeah, I haven't. Oh, this is so. It's this. It's like 2600 Kelvin or 2700 Kelvin. It's just such a. It's so bad for anybody with like pale skin or white white people. You tune in weekly. Okay, cool. That's what I kind of thought because I did get that on videos. People were saying like I like batch watch your stuff when I was doing daily. So I was like, well, maybe I should just do one longer video a week. That way, one, I can like really cherry pick the scenes that make sense to the videos, and it's not a lot of like just really long drawn out stuff. But two, um, it's just something different. Oh yeah, yeah. I probably should utilize the alert stuff more often, or more, I guess. I just honestly, I just always I kind of forget. Um, that's awesome though. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it, and uh, I like being able. I love talking about camera stuff. So doing this while I'm editing photos is uh, it's fun. This photo is so. Uh, oh, that's better. Honestly, I kind of just, for me, like, um, I just, it gets easier as you do it. First, second, whenever So like doing it more, it's very like it's a rare thing where I actually get like nervous about people like thinking that I'm talking to a camera. But on the days that I do have that, because I think it's always going to be something that you have to deal with. I kind of just remind myself like I could either let myself dictate like what I want to do and how I want to like be, or like if I want to be happy, or I can let other people dictate it for me. And for me, that's kind of like the only thing that I really needed to kind of switch, um, to like just to whip the camera out and talk. I will say with a phone or with this pocket, there's a lot less people that notice. And even with the big camera, I don't think people notice as much as we think. But there are people that do notice, and it's really awkward when you do get kicked out of somewhere, which I have. It's happened to me 3 times, twice in a Walmart and once in Publix. I got kicked out, but yeah, if you're just respectful and you're just like, okay, I understand. But all that being said, I think it's like a thing. If you just do it more, you slowly start to realize like it's most people don't even notice, and yeah, that would be my suggestion. All right, I'm gonna trim this or crop this in because this photo is just all the entire left side. There was just a bunch of nothing. Oh, okay. I'm going to need to adjust some things. Okay, I'll turn that back on. Trying to see if there's any that were already edited so that I can. There we go. That looks good. That was easy. 0 editing required. Just copy and paste. Actually, this wedding, I'm thinking about this now because the septic tank is right here. The septic tank actually overflowed, and all of the toilets in the venue flooded. So there was a guy out here, like right after we finished these photos, and he was digging up the septic tank, and had to like do something to it to get it to, so the toilets could be used again. That's a cool shot. I like this forest area too. It's kind of dark in the shadow area. Okay. That's over crooked or over straightened. Oh, that's not good. All right, this one doesn't have a mask, so I'm going to have to add a mask, which is good because I haven't done that yet. Let's see. Subject. Selecting subject. The AI features for Premiere have been the biggest. I think it's the best thing that's happened in Premiere in a long time. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Oh, whoop. There we go. Yeah, I can show you. It's actually really easy. It's one button. Um, let's see. Let me find one. Oh, this is perfect right here. So copy and pasted. So if I like want to like have her like just have a mask over so that I can control this aspect individually, I'm going to go over to this little circular looking thing. Click on that, and then where it says create new mask, you can select subject, sky, or background. For this one, I'm going to choose the subject, and literally it says it's selecting subject. Boom. So easy. Before, you'd have to like paint the mask and like feather it so like it didn't look like you copied it and pasted it like from a magazine or something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's really, really, really easy. Yeah. It like I said, it really sped up workflow for a lot of people, myself included. And it's probably the best thing that Premiere's done in a long time, if not ever. That's crooked though. Sounds good, man. Have fun in your meeting. And thank you for watching and chatting. You too, man. Everything is well. Just getting some work done. Because we're behind on editing photos and video. Savannah's currently editing video behind you, and then I'm editing the photos. Uh, and thanks, man. Live's fun. It's different, and it definitely requires a different like headspace than actually like shooting a video. But I like it. It's different and it's like fresh, if that makes sense. Did I copy? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. I couldn't tell if I like pasted the settings that I have from the presets. Oh, dude, I need to catch one of your lives then. I just think it's a really cool way to. It's a cool way to see how people actually are, if that makes sense. Because like you can edit anybody to pretty much anything, and this is kind of like as unfiltered as you can get. Besides like seeing the person like in real life. But I'll have to check your. I'll have to hop on when you're going live again. Yeah. Also, the going live thing has been really, really easy with this Pocket 3. That's what I'm currently using right now. Versus like a big old camera. It's amazing. Yeah, it really is. Like, and I think it really takes like because I feel like a lot of times when I'm making videos, a big thing that I try to um, keep in the back of my mind while I'm editing and shooting, which sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not, is to keep the video, making it feel like human and making it feel really just relatable. And I think live, that's pretty much all you can do. It's just conversations and it's completely unplanned, like you said. And I think there's a beauty in that. Yeah. And it's so easy. I mean, literally, I'm using my Pocket 3 and I'm using this microphone with uh, a single cable I got from Amazon that plugs directly into my laptop. Like that, just that's amazing. I did not expect that to work, so I thought I was gonna have to use this cloud lifter thing, because you have to when you go through an interface. But for some reason, the cable just automatically works. Yeah. Anyway, really cool. I'm gonna have to crop this guy in because it's not. She's not centered. I literally did that yesterday when I was watching a video. Um, if it feels like fake or like just, I think there's a place for that on YouTube, and I think Mr. Beast has really done a really good job of capitalizing on that and building that part of YouTube. But I think, like everything, YouTube has different viewers and different people people like different things. And I think I typically gravitate towards the more relatable, the more down to earth, and the more like everyday kind of things, which is why I started doing vlogs to begin with. Because I remember watching like Casey Neistat back in the day, and I was kind of missing that from YouTube, and that's honestly what kind of got me started into it. And I wanted to learn how to do cameras or work cameras. Um, so those were the two main things. But I totally feel you on that. Like having just human interaction is the most important thing in my opinion, next to storytelling. This guy's crooked. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's the compliment that that's the one that like I appreciate the most, and I really it's the most like I don't know the word. I'm that's the one that I'm most grateful for, because I want it to feel like me and like unique and like authentic, versus it trying to be something that I'm not, if that makes sense. I started doing that when I first started making videos. Like I would try to like copy somebody else's personality, and around like video 100 or 150 or something, I just tried being myself, and it felt a lot more natural, and it was a lot easier to make videos, and I liked it a lot more. But I think that's a natural thing that most people have to do when they start out. They have to like copy some of their favorite creators, and they eventually find their like their voice, if that makes sense, without sounding kind of cliche. Yeah, exactly. That's the if there was one comment that I actually care about, it's that one. That's the only one. I don't care about the camera looks great. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, but I like the stuff that's a little more broad than that. Oh, you're good, man. Thank you for hopping on. I appreciate it. If anything, this is a nice distraction because this is editing can be kind of monotonous in a good way. this is going to be tricky. So if you can tell, I'm trying to straighten this, and she's not like perfectly in center, and you have all this awkward space right here. So I'm just going to have to cut this from the bottom to make sure she's like centered in the frame. Okay, that sucks because that first shot was I liked the composure. It just wasn't, you chopped her head off or it was crooked. Dude, I appreciate that. Please do. And if you have any, yeah, please send comments because I love talking about camera gear, and this is like a real time being able to do that while I'm editing stuff shot on a camera. Actually, when we shoot weddings and there's like another like videographer or whatever, I have to really force myself to not get caught up in like talking about camera gear because I'll find myself that I'll miss things because of that, because I love this like art form so much that I get carried away talking about it. I love the lens. So this lens, the lens that this was shot on was the Canon 28-70 f2, and it's f2 all the way through. And I love the bokeh that this thing produces. I love the 70-200. It's probably my all-time favorite lens, but this is a really close second. And it's a more practical lens too, because like you go from 28 all the way to 70. And if you've ever shot a wedding and stuff, then you know like sometimes you need that zoom aspect, and a 70-200 just doesn't work in every situation. Yeah, it looks so good. It was well worth the money in my opinion. Like look at that. That looks so good. That's a cool picture. I like she's like on the left third, and then that's a cool picture. I didn't shoot a lot of these, by the way. I'm pretty sure Savannah shot most of these. I was the second shooter for this. Actually, this one might have been mine. Actually, I don't think so, actually. So I'm not, Savannah shot these photos, so I'm seeing them for the first time. I'm not just saying that my pictures are great. I'm definitely getting the hang of editing on the computer, and I think I do like it more than the iPad. But the first 10 minutes was like, I don't know if I like this or not. She looks kind of green. Oh, that's really green. Do some black and white. Fun fact, when Savannah and I do black and whites, most of the time it's when there's like a challenging, like the colors just look really bad. Like if it's like really, really orange in a room and you just don't want to fight it, if you just do black and white, it looks great, and it makes yeah, it's like a kind of like a lazy man's way of editing, which that's fine. You need some black and whites, I feel like, in a gallery. Oh, what am I doing? Didn't even paste it yet. All right, I'm going to go up to here, and then I'll probably take a break. So I got a couple more, and then I'll probably grab lunch, honestly. Oh, that's bright. I'll have to do a live on the setup that I have for going live, because I'm really, yeah. This is cool. Like, this whole like editing video or photo thing is cool, but I'm like more pumped on the fact that just everything kind of worked. Like a harebrained scream of mine actually, it actually worked out. Now we're picking up speed. Oh, there we go. Little green. That's better. Command. Oh. Well, it looked green. You know, that's technically not centered, but I think I'm going to keep it that way just because she's looking in this direction, and I think it looks okay, personally. But this one, no, that looks like it too. Look at that. Wow. Oh, that's really green. That needs to change. Oh, that's black and white. I don't want to touch that. Oh, did I go past the spot that I said I was taking a break? I did. Okay, with that, I think I'm going to call this live right here. If you did hop on and watch, thank you. I appreciate it. If you're watching this after the fact, let me know if this helped you, and if you want me to make like an actual dedicated video talking about Lightroom. This is my first time opening it and my first experience with the desktop version. I like it, and I think I'm just going to get faster and more proficient with it as I do these photos. So with that, I'm going to go grab some lunch, and I will see you guys in the next, not the next video, the next stream.